Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. How you doing there, friends? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is December 20th, 2023. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I see a couple folks wandering in. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me bring on the chat room. They're right over there. We got folks on Twitch chiming in. How you doing there, Christopher Stroob? It's Litany. Good to see you. Hello. They're a member of the Live Coder stream team. Digital Dummy. Hello. Welcome. Just found out Copilot can generate unit tests. Yes, it can. There's a really neat feature in GitHub Copilot where you can highlight a block of text and use the accelerator key in Visual Studio. That's Alt /. I forget what it is in Visual Studio Code. And you could say generate unit tests for this. It might even just be /test, and it'll write a unit test for you. And with a couple clicks, it'll add it to your unit test project, and you're off and running. Really, really good. So I'm happy to see that folks are finding that, working with it. Honestly, I think there's a lot that we as developers need to lean into with that, so that we can get better testing inside of our applications. More reliability benefits everybody, right? Hey, Virotech, hello, hello. I have a feeling I recognize that screen name from another platform. So, great stuff that you can do with Copilot. It knows this hat. It does. What do you mean it not found? What? Try that again. And also let me turn down the volume.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
80% certainty that it's my NASA hat. Hey there, Phil. Good to see you. Hello, hello. So, let's get, nope, gotta close that thing. I just got my Christmas present to myself. Arrived yesterday. And I got the MetaQuest 3 headset. You've seen me talk about and work with and tinker with VR on stream before. I'm a big fan of the Quest headsets. I really enjoy them. So I had an opportunity to pick one up and went and grabbed it. Really like what they've done with this one. The augmented reality stuff is amazing. The interactions between applications, so cool. And later, not on stream, but later, I'm going to try out the computing and using the VR headset as an extra screen. Totally cool. Very, very cool what you're able to do with this. Did it turn it? I thought it turned itself back on. No, it's off. Okay. So, yeah, the Quest 3 is very cool. I spent a lot of time last night playing with that. So, let me get some music playing here in the background, and we can start getting back into building and working with Tags app here. I'm going to go with the EDM playlist today. Let's go down here. Yeah, this is called Restart. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free. It says it right there. Look at that. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like out there. Check it out at streambeats.com. They've got all kinds of genres available, different music. I like the EDM and synthwave playlists a lot. They're nice and instrumental and a nice bed of music just behind us as we're writing code together. So, Digital Dummy asks, what do I use the Quest for? Well, so there's a couple of VR games on it that I really like. There's a mini golf game that's absolutely amazing on it. And I forget the name of it. And there's a bowling game as well. I don't know what the names of these are. There it is. Click on that thing and it's the bowling game. Click through and yeah, Walkabout. That's it. The Walkabout mini golf is really good. And there's a bowling game that really has the physics down. That's been really good as well. So those, but I've also used it as an extra screen for when I'm programming. So think about that. You've got a screen in front of you, but you can dial up extra virtual screens using your Quest headset. Now we're talking. So particularly you go on the road, you bring your VR headset with you, and it doesn't matter where you are. You've got extra screens for your computing device, your laptop, because it's there inside the VR display. Really, really cool. I've used it to watch movies. I've used it to read books. I read Ready Player 2 on my Quest 2 headset. That's not weird. Kind of fit. Like, you dial up the Kindle app on the website and browse to it, and I'm reading Ready Player 2 on my VR headset. Like, that's... It doesn't get any better than that. Blast On and Super Hot are fun. Okay, I'll have to look them up. So, let's dive back into the project here. Let me make sure, right? So I have that, and yeah, we can close this browser. And I think those are both me, right? Yeah. No additional feedback on the blue sky work at this point. We're going to have to come back and talk to some folks on that one. But we've been working on the Blazor migration, getting things running for Tags app in Blazor so that we can move things around. We can make this application a little bit more portable and also take advantage of some of the cool new rendering things that we can do, right? Like being able to render and deliver content that runs in the browser, not just on a server and gets delivered into the browser as HTML, but render and run code in the browser. Very, very cool. Very, very cool stuff here. So here's the pull request. Get my gunners on there. These are the Marin glasses today that I'm wearing. Let's set up a project command here. Migrating Tags app to Blazor with .NET 8. And after this series of pull requests, I think we're going to move things to its own Tags app organization on GitHub. I've already allocated the organization, and if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link to the source code just below in the description, but you'll be able to get over to the project where it lives right now in the Fritz and Friends organization. That's an organization that I use for projects that we build live on stream. But Tags app's about to get a little bit bigger, and I've started allocating an organization where we can build out a public-facing website. We can build out various components that folks may want to download and integrate into their applications. Hosting the containers and NuGet packages here so that there's a jump-off point for our development process before we publish those things publicly out to Docker Hub or to NuGet.org so that folks can download and build from there. So this is where we're going to. We'll have a cool Tags app logo over here. Our friend Junie Von Esch is working on some of that for us. And we'll get back in and tinker with that, play with that in the future. All right, what do you say? Let's dive back in, see where we are with the project, get back up to speed, and start building some of this. Start going through and taking a look at this. So I'm going to go reopen. I even closed Visual Studio here for a second. So not sure how long we're going to go today writing some code together here, but we'll have a little bit of fun. Letting the family know. All So we build out a couple of components, but we haven't hooked up any of the data interaction yet in the new Blazor application. So it's just kind of hanging out there, kind of hanging around. It's got some faux data that we're working with, and we built a little bit of configuration before we started this migration. We built a little bit of configuration so that application configuration can live somewhere and tell us, here's all the configuration information to load and start this. So I think we start bringing that in and getting the data providers wired up. So here's the application. Simple hello world that we left on the middle of the index page here. But we got the waterfall bit running here so that it will show you, right? We have a first test message here, and it does click and opens up an appropriate pop-up message box, and we can close that box. We can also, we went through and we learned a little bit about event propagation so that you can also click in the background. And our pause button down here, that will light up and will enable that, disable that appropriately as we build more here. The pause button, let me tell you, the folks that were hosting .NET Conf, and hopefully as TagsApp gets a little bit more traction in the future and more folks start using it, I want hosts to really appreciate that pause button, because being able to sneaky touch it, right? Because it's dimmed out there and it's in the corner where folks don't normally look. But if we could even dim it further, but to have it there and something easy to just touch to stop, to pause the waterfall view from updating, and then continue processing. Pretty cool stuff. And we'll get that wired in here. We also finished wiring in the events, so that's all C# doing that. That rollout of the menu bar at the top. So let's start wiring up our configuration to this so that we can do data fetching, appropriate data fetching, and we have data sitting out there for this waterfall. Let's start wiring up that data interaction. I think we continue to bring in the various social media providers as a background service in this, in preparation for breaking that background service off. And that background service that we use to run and deliver content here is eventually going to be its own application, its own standalone application. So that's what I have on the agenda today, is to start wiring in the configuration. How are you, chat room? How are things? It's the week before the holiday. Friday morning, we're gonna do our Christmas stream. We're gonna take a path through, take a turn through reading The Night Before Christmas, and of course, 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. Doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or YouTube. We're gonna broadcast and share that. How are you, chat room? We'll have some fun on Friday with that. All right. Quiet. Folks are just listening in the background. That's okay. So let's go in and let's start dialing in. Oh. Where'd it go? Oh, I left it in the other room. I have another present that was sent to me from the folks at Microsoft I wanted to share at some point here. All right, let's start wiring up the configuration. Hey, Eric, happy Wednesday. And your diehard quote of the day is yippee-ki-yay. Yes, that's right.
It's illegal in 9 countries.
I should grab some diehard audio drops for Friday. All right. So we'll stop this, and I'm going to kick off the application so it's building and rebuilding in the background. Yes, those things don't exist. yet. So, yeah, this one up here. We're going to do a .NET watch so that it's building and rebuilding, and as changes are made, it'll restart the application here for us. But I'm going to bring over, I think we bring over all the things to do application configuration that we finished previously and get them loaded into the user interface here in Blazor so that we do get this startup experience. Which also means... So all of this stuff for the CSHTML we were copying across, I'm going to close all that out. We're not working on the pause button right now. We're not working on any of those. But... Don't need this one right now. Don't need that. We are going to dive into here a little bit. I want to organize the program CS for our new project a little bit. The way that this starts up is... It's got a lot of things going on here. Know what I'm saying? So let's break this out a little bit. I'm going to add a class. And I'm going to call this Service Extensions. Okay. Thank you. Make this a static class. And I want to take... Right, so this is iService collection. iService collection... let's call this first bit here is to add all the security stuff. Oh my gosh. Chibi-chan.
Chibi_chan_10 just resubscribed for 9 months.
Thank you so much. 9 months with us. Bringing that Prime subscription, that's going to put you into a green subscriber loyalty hat. And I'm going to make another donation to the American Cancer Society. All of our cheers, all of our subscriptions, all of our ad revenue, I donate to, well, this month it's the American Cancer Society. We're going to have a new charity we're working with next month. So for the last 6 months, we've been supporting the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much. How you doing there, Chibi-chan? Hello, hello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I feel terrible if I've been saying it all this time and I didn't, it was pronounced something else. Yes, that's the right thing to inject there. So I'm just going to grab all of these things for the security, and we're going to end up modifying these and moving these and all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to put them right there. I don't even need to say builder. I can just replace that with S. Yep, in the current block. Do it. There we go. Nice. Oh, we do need configuration. All right. This is going to need to... might need to work on that. You don't know how to use SQL Server? Get a using statement, friend. So in here, what I'll do is I'll just say builder services add. Oh, come on. And it'll be builder configuration. And we need a using statement. Don't mind if I do. Cool. Simplifying, reducing the scope, the size of everything that's going on inside Program CS to make it a little bit easier to manage. So I'm okay with that stuff. I'm okay. And I might be okay with the rest of this. I think I'm okay with most of the rest of it. this is going to be the next place where we're going to break and change things. So in the other one, the existing running application that doesn't really run right now because it's kind of broken. We have this TagZap factory, configure TagZap factory, that knows how to configure the application, and we want to be able to load that up. So these three things I'm going to drop in place of that. Right, the app config that comes out of this is, yeah, an application configuration. So, how you doing there, Brainy95 with a question? I didn't even light up a featured chat here. I wanted to bring that up. We can answer that. Would it make sense to use React.js and MVC, or is that a bad idea? No, that's a great idea. A lot of folks do that. In fact, there's even models where don't use React with MVC, put it out in the dub root folder and let React do its thing and manage its HTML files, and use ASP.NET Core MVC just as your API endpoints that React application is going to reach into to fetch data, save data, interact, and perform business logic that needs to run on the server. Absolutely. This is one of the top ways that folks use ASP.NET Core right now. So not a bad idea at all. Highly recommended. In fact, there's even a template to get you started. Yeah, you can. Right, so .NET new, and we take a look at the list of templates here. There is ASP.NET Core with React. So if we say .NET new React, and we call this my React app 1, right? And we open VS Code on this. One second. Sorry. So when we take a look at this, yeah, thanks so much. Great to see it right there. So there's a client app that has all of your node configuration, and you have a controller that has a sample API all configured here to do its, right, to fetch and deliver data. So it will run the two together, and in fact, it even has a proxy server that it'll launch and connect into, and you can see all the commands here to interact with Webpack, to interact with doing that build process for the React application. So you're looking to get into full stack developing with React, was unsure how it could connect to a backend. A lot of folks use Node for it, and that's okay. You can use Node for it. When you start to get into things that need a lot more processing and more business logic, a more enterprise scale programming language and framework, ASP.NET, Java, are going to help you with that. So not just fetching data out of a database and presenting it on the screen, but doing more business logic with it. So great questions there, Brainy. Thank you so much for asking. So where am I? So I'm copying in a bit of the way that we were doing configuration here. And then it sets up some of the other configuration here. Now there's a bit of middleware that I had added, right? That was adding security Those aren't services. Those are authorization. Tags app hosted services. Where's the middleware? Here we go. So I think we also need, there was a piece that I had to add for the container. I don't see it. But this right here, we do need. And I'm going to drop it in here. So this is where it looks to see, are we configured? And if not, move it. Go get reconfigured. So I'm going to just copy that in as well and leave it right at the root of the application. So, invoke. If it is, if the application is configured and you're not, if the application is not configured, and you're not going to the first start configuration page, we're going to redirect and take you over there so that you can set up the initial configuration. And there it is. Redirecting for first start. So it is trying to go there, and there's nothing there. There is no website there yet. So we need to recreate the Razor pages. See, this is why I didn't go too far on the Razor pages. Need to recreate them now as Blazor pages and get them running. So I was just talking to my friend Carl as we were recording the Blazor Puzzle podcast, and it was something that it's kind of tricky. We were discussing that, yeah, you know what? When you do start using Razor and Blazor back and forth, it gets a little dicey. Gets a little dicey, not gonna lie. So, and this was a piece that we added. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We added the ability to restart the application. Before I unwind this, we need to update Program CS so that it'll allow us to restart the application. We can't take our application and have it just start with the top level statements. We actually need to boil this down a little bit. I'm going to remove the unnecessary usings. Thanks so much. And give it a bit of a structure here because we're going to allow this thing to restart. So I believe, can I just convert to program main style? Look at that. It's amazing. Kind of. We're going to create a couple of objects here. We need a way to be able to monitor if we're actually shutting down the application or if we're telling it go restart, which is going to stop the web server and allow it to start again. And if we're in a test mode, so we can skip through some of that. So what I currently have in main right now, we moved into a method called start website. So let's do that. Just like that, right? And now inside main, I can check and handle the various scenarios that we're starting and restarting the website with. If we're in test mode, go ahead and start the website. Otherwise, while we're restarting, and by default, yes, we are restarting the website, flip it over and say, not restarting it anymore. Our cancellation token source is a new instance, and start the website. Because at the end of start website, where it actually does app run, we're going to do app run async. This way, when there's an actual cancel operation that occurs, it'll trigger that cancellation token source, stop the website gracefully, and restart. So we've got that dialed in now. All right, so over here, where we had a page model and everything to work with a Razor CSHTML file, we're going to convert this to Blazor. That's not confusing at all. So, is this never used? I don't think it's ever used. All right. So this content, I think well, let's start renaming this first, right? We go from CSHTML to .razor. Yes, I know. And we're going to rename this to .razor. Razor? Sure. It's not a page model. This is a partial class because it goes with this. And we don't have a model. And our page is, let's go back to program, make sure I grab the right. It's in the startup config middleware, that one. There we go. View data doesn't actually, that's not actually a thing anymore, right? Instead, we just have page title. You make me sad. There we go. All right, so I've got a page title and I've got my content all built out. Most of this should work the same. No. This is a good one. I haven't indicated a render mode for this, right? Blazor has 5 render modes. So this is by default going to be static. And we've also got the scripts down here. We need to change that to make this a section content. Can we please simplify this thing? I mean, really? Right? Thank you. And it's building. First start configuration. The name redirect to page does not exist in the CS file. Yes. So here we are posting data, right? You don't really, I mean, we don't have an on get, we don't have an on post, and we don't have an iAction result. We just have a validate. And, right, save that data. Ew. So, how am I going to do a validate on this? And bind property doesn't really exist either. Unless I move these out to a model object, which is probably going to be the best way to go with this. And I can't really create it as a record. Let's call this first start config. Right, so there's all of that. Mm-hmm. Just make this public async task. On form validate. What did I just call it? First start config. Right? So it's already passed validation to get to this. There is no return to page or redirect to page. Set configuration provider. Yep. I think this all fits together easily. So there was a connection string that you can select, and there's a basic configuration you can choose where it's going to default use the same database connection for everything. Now, why doesn't it like that? Oh. There we go. And then program restart. Yeah, because that's going to kick it off and restart things. And what I want to do, I'm going to need a navigation manager. That needs to be injected. I can't accept it there. Right? No. No! Right? Inject. Why don't you like that? Because it's not a property. There we go. So that goes away. I like it. I also need the navigation manager. So let's inject the navigation manager. Navigation manager knows how to navigate and get around the Blazor application. And I'm going to want that so that down here I can, after we're done and say, okay, restart the website, so it loads the new configuration, we're going to say navigate to the base of the website. Let's see how our build is working. Looks like it thinks it's running properly. No. Unknown parameter ID on set parameter values. What? I think this is supposed to be name. Section name. Ah, it was close. There it is. All right. Well, that's not going to work. Radio buttons should be radio buttons. ASP4 does not exist. That's why. Rats. All right, so now we got to move this around a little bit. Right, these need to have a matching name. So let's just call it configuration type. And now it'll properly toggle. Okay. The JavaScript to show hide content down lower is not wired up. What happened there? Really? Unexpected expression got a doodad. Got a less than symbol. Really? Where? I don't want to do a find on that to try and find that. Is it somewhere down here in the script? .config-advanced should be display none. Right, so this stuff down here should be on display none, but it's not. Main. I don't think it delivered any of that script content. Hey, how you doing there? Is it Mohida Sharif? Hello. Let's see. What do we got? Why didn't it pop through? So I've got a section content, and this is showing up inside the standard layout. Which has a section outlet named scripts. I spelled it differently. There we go. Now we got the JavaScript out there. So when I toggle back and forth. All right. We're getting somewhere. Looking back here, so when it does set configuration provider, let's just make sure that reaches into app setting JSON and configures it so that it knows where to go to load my configuration. So, let's try loading it up. Let's try loading it up. So I have a configuration connection string here that we use for the local Postgres database that's sitting in a Docker container. So submit that. Oh, we didn't do the anti-forgery token configuration. Stand by. There was a thing over here for anti-forgery. Where'd it go? Well, hang on. So what we're trying to do with this little bit of code that we're dropping in is, right, this is like a startup wizard. We're going to block you, prevent you from doing anything till you tell, this is how we want the application configured. We're going to run and store things in Postgres or SQLite or maybe in memory. Folks have requested SQL Server in here, other databases. Sure, we might bring online in the future. But save that setting so that it writes out into the configuration file, here's where to go to get all the database information for configuration. And then restart the web server. Because this is a first-time setup, right? When you take this application and it's sitting in a container and you start it up, just like when you first start up like WordPress, there's a startup wizard that asks, how would you like this configured? And there's a bunch of things that it prompts you for. We're trying to do something similar. But I'm getting that anti-forgery token issue here. Because I don't want to be doing a post similar to exactly it basically a web application that you're starting. You downloaded an installation. Here's how to get it started. I want to take this out of here. I want to do an on submit. Right? And that's not it. No! We're going to call on form validate, and we want to pass in the config. Yeah. We got to move things around here a little bit. Yeah. This is okay. We're not actually going to receive one of these, but it's going to be a property on the page. First start config. And we'll just replace. All right. Fix these. There we go. All right. So it works, but it doesn't know all the things yet. So, yes. Where's that parenthesis? It doesn't know about it. So, instead, these are... I don't know what it's upset about. Reopen that. No. I don't know where the issue is. I don't know where that extra parenthesis is here. Is it because I didn't put a thing in there? On form validate. Now, why doesn't it like that? Sure it does. It's right here. So why isn't it picking that up? Because it's there. What if I were to bring this over right into a code block, right? Because in Blazor we have code blocks. Yeah, it likes that one. says it doesn't know what those things are. I ran into this a while ago. Where it didn't properly connect to the partial. Oh, look at that. See, it's still got the Razor Pages bits in here. Don't have those anymore. Help me out here. How do I generate a code behind for this Blazor page with a partial class? I forget the syntax. Namespace on the old one? Is it? It is. It is. Still doesn't like it. Eee. Tell me bind property attribute. I'll tell you bind property attribute. Get that. Okay, it was an MVC thing. Because we're not binding properties anymore, because we're not binding. And this is saying I need to inherit from component base. I didn't think I had to do that. No. Oh, and it's called First Start Configuration Model. There it is. Now, it was namespace and the name of the class didn't match. So, okay. And fix that name. Get rid of that. Because it's actually constructed in the other part of what's generated. Is it? I thought it was at the... No. Sure, declared as nullable. This one I could kind of set equal to default. Default. Thank you. Really? Fine. Like that. Better. Looks like it's rebuilding properly. There we go. Okay. Now I need to make sure that each one of the fields is actually wiring up to the object instead of trying to do a post back and paste values through. So, right, this is converting from Razor Pages way to Blazor way. Okay. So, so configuration type, this is value basic and value advanced. So how do you do a radio button that writes into a Razor field? Blazor field. I've never done that before. I've never done a radio button that writes into a Blazor field. Blazor radio button. Input radio group, input radio option dot value, and the bind value is on the radio group. Yeah. Nah, it's okay, Dr. Cox. How you doing? Make sure if you are looking for the reminders, the notice when I do start, there's a bell just beneath me here on Twitch. Turn it off, turn it back on to reset your notifications. I think that works. Using the new input radio group syntax. Right for here. Right. And we're not going to bind model selected. We're going to bind config dot provider, and there is no for each going on here. So, right, we're going to do a class of form check input. It did in the end. Oh, it just took too long. And this is not going to say option value. We're going to say basic. Right. And I don't really need a label. Right. Do I? Nope, didn't rebuild it. The name basic does not exist. What? Right? Do I have to do it like that? Love the rainbow fruit flavored settings there. Yep. Moving it over to Blazor, you're right. So that works. I'm all right with that. And where I was doing show hide with JavaScript on the rest of this, I can get rid of that. I can get rid of all of this. Right? Because I can check provider. How did it default to say one value was checked? It doesn't say. No. I guess if we start off with the provider over here. If we did that. Yeah. So then. So there's the provider and connection string. I'm seeing that it's using the word provider a couple too many times here. It should be configuration type. Move that here. Okay. And it's going to go all the way through to there. Shoot, I thought I could do this statically. I'm going to need interactive server. Really? Why isn't it? What did I miss? Label makes it so when you click on the text, it also checks the button. Yeah. You're right. So why isn't that doing anything? We got this thing again. I know where that's from. I know where that's from. You still don't get what stream rendering is capable of? Oh. We'll get into stream rendering for the admin area. Stream rendering says render this statically, but we may have some content that's going to arrive a little bit later that we're going to push onto the website. Yeah. So I've made this now an interactive server page, which means that as that value changes, it should update down here. Config configuration type. Hello from advanced mode. Oh, it's rebuilding. Ta-da! No, it's not doing it. I know why. The router's hurting us here. that bit of middleware is even redirecting the request for the JavaScript. Take a look. Look at this. Network. CSS, JavaScript, 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 all getting 404'd. Now, some of those properly are 404'd. I want to let anything that's a JavaScript file to come through. And, yeah, the WebSocket is open. But no, the WebSocket's fine. But it's not actually doing anything yet. Right, it's not. So if it's not configured and content request lowercase c. Context, not content. Path. I want to get the file that it's trying to navigate to. Yeah, I think it's going to be path. No, I don't want that. If I were to just say ends with path.value ends with .js. Restarting. No messages. So the server interactivity isn't wired up. But I'm not getting those errors. These 404 not founds are... I think they're correct because they're not in those locations. Let's restart this, John. I started making dinner earlier. And oh man, I can smell it cooking. Yeah, and the family's now. I can smell dinner, man. Here we go. On caught in promise syntax error. Yeah, here you go. Look at this. It's trying to get to Blazor Web.js. And it can't get there. So it's not able to start up things. So it shouldn't be trying to get into that. It's right there. There's the content. Maybe this is something I can configure at the router because we're in Blazor instead and I don't need middleware. Wonder if I could do it there. Right? Because if I took this out right? And I reloaded because I'm at first start configuration. Now it is connected to Blazor, and now I've got my content, and it does behave. So I wonder if that's something I could do with the router. We haven't tinkered with the router in Blazor. Right? So the router inspects and allows and specifies here's how to navigate around the application. Eric asks, what's for dinner though? Oh yes, it is low and slow. I'll tell you in a second here. Hey Johnny B. Cat, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the training videos. Dev has sent you code approval before deploying for testing. Nice. Thanks to the courses, you're understanding more and more C#. We like that. Absolutely, we gotta celebrate that. There you go, Johnny B. Cat. Great to hear that. And love hearing that. Thinking, hey, how's it going there, Bill? Hello. I don't want to disclose too much information, folks with a screen name if they don't want it to. Don't want to share. You love the work we're doing on Tags app? Yep. Blazor Dev Community. Oh, thank you, Bill. Great to see you. So that's our friend Bill Finken from Code Factory. So Code Factory is a tool. They've helped out the stream here a couple times, and they're building a tool to make generating code easier. Oh my gosh, Bill! Bill!
Just gifted 20 subs.
Holy smokes! Thank you. 20 gift subs into the channel. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. Big congratulations to Nafine, Bit O'Brien, Coding Gorilla, Gracie UK, JT Sum, Moreland, Gunny Dev D3VS, Acid Necro, Cranberry Wine, They Call Me Tojo, I Love Strux, you do love Strux, Mamoon Isaac Proton, John Merrill, Nate Udev, Cy Gamma, AV Jera, Alpha Druid TV, CL, Ragged Reese, and Scott. Congratulations, you got gift subscriptions from our friend Bill Finken and the folks, I believe the folks at Code Factory. Thank you so much. That is very kind. Yeah, do me a favor. Go check out Code Factory. I don't have... Yeah, codefactory.software. I don't have my Code Factory water bottle here handy to... And you might recognize this guy. But, yeah, make sure you check out the product they're working on. They're really cool stuff. We'll have to talk. There's a lot they're doing to make generating and building code easier. Not only do you have Copilot, but there's also templates and things that you do again and again and again in your code. Let Code Factory generate and manage that for you. Check out what they've got. Really neat stuff. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. There's a link to it. That should come through to you, Johnny B. Cat, over there on YouTube as well. There you go. Yep. So you can learn more about the product. Huge thanks for that. That is, yeah. So, check it out. It's been a while since we've done stuff with it. There have been a number of updates to the software, and particularly Code Factory is really good if you have discrete separation of your code. You have very well defined borders between and segments in your code, so that you have various layers of logic and your data repository access and logging and these things. Code Factory does some great stuff there. Thank you so much, Bill. Yeah. So, let me dive back in here. It's feeling more and more like Christmas. Oh, that'll be Friday when we do, of course, and I do my annual reading of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. So, I'm trying to remember and pick back up here. I was doing something with the router. we were wiring up, seeing if we could use the router, the Blazor router, to reroute if we're not configured yet. That was it. Okay. No, I didn't do the auth in 1 hour. No. So we need to do a check if we're not configured. Is what we need to do. So that's a component, authorize route view. So do we build a Blazor component that says if it's not configured, go to this, otherwise go to that? Ooh, this could be fun. Yeah. Right, so if we call this first start routing, something like that. Yeah. Eat broke. Yes. Thank you. Now we can inject. What am I injecting? Application configuration. It's. I'll find my way back to this, I promise. No, I don't even need to inject. I can just say if it's configured. Yes. Where am I? All right. Settle down, Fritz. So let's create a property is configured, and we'll just go right after that. Okay. So let's just do if is configured. Why am I not getting any syntax highlighting? I don't. No. And I need 2 render fragments. Public render fragment. No, not child content. Application is configured. And the other one will just route to the other thing. Only need the navigation manager injected. I don't even think I need that. Oh, I do need the navigation manager injected. You're right. Oh my gosh!
Grotto Drake just gifted 20 subs.
Grotto Drake with 20 gift subs into the channel. Holy smokes! Welcome. Wow, thank you. 20 gift subs into the channel. Let me go back to the welcome page for a second. We gotta look at this. Happy holidays indeed. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Null Sheffo, James Montemagno, easy for me to say. I work with the guy. Penkoff, Jedi Mega Man, Jed81VB, Master ATT, Angry Ginger Dad, Zerths, George Coder, Alan C8, Hat Kindhalls, One Knob, Grim Desp, Aragorn the Wolfkin, LeBlon's91, Captain Commerce, Effin Kill, Tactics 47, Reboot Gilman, thank you so much. The Arthur 93, congratulations to all of you. You got a gift subscription. Wow, from Grotto Drake, thank you so much, friend. Really appreciate that. That is awfully generous. Yes, we'll be making donations for all of these gift subscriptions. Thank you very, very much. Wow. Thank you. And of course, our friends at Microsoft match all of those donations. So it's great to make a difference. Thank you so much for that support. There you go. Oh, man. I was injecting something. Navigation manager, right? I'm. It's not going to give it to me. No. Thank you. I don't. I'm confused. Try and go back to that. First, start routing. That's better. Now we got the highlighting. Still not correct, but. If configured, and navigation manager. No. It's like base URI or something. I don't know. I don't want to do a redirect to URL. Wait, if it is configured and if it is not configured, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dr. Cox. There's an attention command there.
Hey, listen.
If I forget something like that. I'm not getting the code completion here. It doesn't. Oh, wait a sec. It should be up here as at inject. Yes, like that. No. Why am I not getting the, I don't know why I'm not getting the thing. Restart that. I need those pages. No. No. Right, I want to inspect the URI that was passed in. Right, that works. And it's just not highlighting. Oh, 1 second, Dr. Cox. Right, and I want to do URI. Contains. And then it's going to be like first start. Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm deleting. Why aren't you deleting? Something funny about this version of Visual Studio. I mean, it's a preview version, but something doesn't feel right at all. So if it's not configured and we're not on first start configuration, then yeah. Navigate to over there. Otherwise, application is configured. I probably don't need that. Right? I could probably just go like that. Right? Because what I'm going to do, right, to your question, can we try rebuilding? It is rebuilding. We're good. I'm going to go to my routes, and I'm going to wrap right here. First, start routing. that should do what I'm looking for here. That's in components. So tags app Blazor components. So I'm sorry. There was a question earlier. Hey, what did you make for dinner? Something low and slow. I did. There it goes. Now it knows. Why don't you? What was it? Application is configured. I could have just done child content, couldn't I? Oh, fine. Let it rebuild. So I'm making Italian meatballs to go for dinner. So I've got some nice marinara sauce on top of. I think I made about 20 meatballs that I've got sitting in the crock pot cooking. But when I make meatballs, I don't use normal breadcrumbs. I use panko for my breadcrumbs because it's gluten free. So I end up with a gluten free meatball. Oh, and there's a surprise. I put a block of mozzarella cheese in the middle of the meatball as well. So you've got this nice block of Italian seasoned meat, a little bit of breadcrumb in there, and a little block of mozzarella cheese that's stuffed in the middle. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Because you bite into it and that cheese is just amazing. Fantastic. So I think it routed me appropriately. This is Italian food talk.
Squirrel!
Brought to you by a German guy. American German guy. What? Moving on. Oh, it is, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, it is. So, now you're hungry. And a nice red would go well with that? Yeah. I forget how panko is made. But, yeah, there's a thing to that. So, okay, so I think I've got my little bit of... And it's interactive now over here, so if I put in the connection string, is it going to properly do the rerouting, saving and rerouting of that? Whoa! No. Electricity. Eat broke. DB configure app line 74. That is a fine call stack. First start configuration line 23. Let's start there. Work this back. So it's in here at set configuration provider. $49. Let's work that call stack. 49. How'd it go from 23? Oh, 80. So it didn't get a connection string, is what it's telling me. Right. Because we didn't finish wiring these things up, so they're using Blazor to map those types. Do I speak German? No. I know just enough German to not get into trouble in the airports. When I fly into Munich or Frankfurt, or last time I flew, I haven't flown into Berlin. I haven't been in Berlin. But last time I flew into Frankfurt. And, yeah, gosh. I was in Frankfurt, and I spoke at German Developer Days in Dusseldorf. And I know just enough German. I completely forget. Studied it in high school. I completely forget it, except for a bunch of key phrases. But when folks identify as German in channel, I'll greet them appropriately. So it's not a null issue. It's the values that I thought I was saving. It's not saving. Feels bad, man. So, right, like this ASP4? No. Bind. And we should be binding to... No. Config provider. This one. Bind. And if I made this an input text, right, I can do a validation here on that. Don't need a type on that. Right. I can make this. Oh, come on. Really? Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Heck Radar. Hello. I'm doing well. I've been startled today. We've had a couple friends that have made some very generous gift subscriptions today. So I'm a little. I feel like a James Bond martini. I'm shaken, not stirred. So, how are you? Welcome in. So, I think, and I'm not actually doing validation there. So, right. So now if I paste that in, submit, still nothing. 2380. Yeah, we're somewhere in the stack. Let's put a breakpoint in here. I can't put a breakpoint in here. It should be binding and bringing that value back. Let's go in here. Breakpoint right there. Start it up. Take a look. It's going to be something simple that I missed here. I that's usually the way these things are. And we'll check it out and fix that. What? No, I don't have a call. What the hell was that? Thank you, Windows Phone integration. You've just... Goodbye. You are the weakest link. No, it wasn't me. It was somebody else. That's just wonderful. Does Microsoft support Windows Phone? No. Nope. Windows Phone is long gone. So. When will I visit Frankfurt? It's going to be a while. It's not going to be for a long time. I am scheduled to be now. See, it shouldn't have. Well, maybe it. I don't know. I am scheduled to be in Stockholm coming up in February. So. Oh yeah, spend some time with the .NET 8 stuff. There is a lot to learn. Did it update app settings anyway? Yeah, those. And no, I'm gonna wipe that whole shooting match there. Now that shouldn't have started. Let's put a breakpoint in. Well, this is going to be called every time. You're not going to let me put a breakpoint there? Oh, friend. Take care, Dr. Cox. Yes, I will be on tomorrow at my normal time. Yep. Let's put a breakpoint down in. Why won't you open that up? Yep. I want one of those. Is configured. I can't put a breakpoint on that? What? Really? Now let me put a breakpoint on that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Bill. And actually, I've got tickets to the Peach Bowl. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta next week. My daughter is marching with the Penn State band. So, tartar sauce. Put that back in. So, yeah. Thank you so much again, Bill. That was very generous for you today. Yes, and I will be making donations. So, take care. Have a fantastic afternoon. Have a great holiday if I don't speak to you. Let's see here. So it never stopped jumping into that. But it's the first thing here. Right, and this should be false to start. It tries to configure it. Restart that. Okay. No, yeah. And that's the empty tags app. Okay. And it never set is configured. It still drops out. It's not even running. It's not, I don't think it's running this at all. Right? Hot reload. No. First start routing should be called right there. Right? Tags app, Blazor, components. Okay. Do I wrap it here? No. First start routing. It seems strange to me that it doesn't see that as a component. You know? Like, it's not running anything on that at all. No. All right. I surrender. How to modify the Blazor routes. Provide custom content when no content is found. That's what the not found element is. Adding additional assemblies, route parameters, yeah. Route constraints. Navigation manager to help with state. Enhanced navigation, no. No. Hashed routing to named elements, no. Navigating element. So during page transition, use the navigating element. Handle prevent location changes. Here we go. Register location changing handler registers a handler to process incoming navigation events. The handler's context provided by a location changing context includes the following properties. The target location, history, entry state. Is navigation intercepted? Prevent navigation. A component can register multiple location changing handlers in its on-after render. Okay. So navigation lock component intercepts navigation events as long as it's rendered, locking any navigation until a decision is made to either proceed or cancel. Right. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit of where we want to go. Not nav link, and there's a nav menu component now? When did that happen? Or is that just the sample they're referring to? Yeah. I think what we want is a navigation lock. That's right, and then it calls route view. Right. So do I need to inherit from something to be able to intercept with the routes? Right? Let's go look at authorized route view. See what we can learn from it. GitHubcom.net ASP. I believe it's ASP.NET. Or I could be completely wrong. You never know. ASP.NET Core. Authorized route view CS. It inherits from route view. So let's rename this file to first start route view. Right? And it sets up a bunch of delegates to go do other things, and it's got parameters and whatnot and stuff. You know, stuff. But it decides. So this shouldn't be a razor. This should be a .cs. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I know I'm going to break it. Break it! Something like that. And it's not a partial class. It wants it as a sealed class. It wants to do one of those, some of this, one of those, and some of that. And it should have as a parameter child content, right? Well, it has authorized, unauthorized. I'm okay with that. But this should inherit from route view. Yeah. Inject. Easy for me to type. Okay. Yep, we're going to want that. That's pretty much it. Really? And it's confused. Try that again. Yeah, we're gonna have a problem here. Anyways, somebody that I work with is gonna get a beating. Let's see. First, config route view. Okay, that looks good so far. But we need to override rendering so we can tell it what to do. So it can make its decisions, which should be easy to do. Right? It'll hand things off to a delegate or builder, open component, add component parameter, close component. Yeah. Render authorized route view core delegate is... So where's that being configured? Render layout, render child content. I'm going to want to basically redirect. Right, if it is not configured, right? And nav manager. Yeah, URI. So, and you're not at first start configuration. Am I going to be able to say, can I do that? Yeah. Look at that. Right, I'm going to open component. I want to just say, I don't even want to add component. I just want to say render. Just add content. And then the render fragment, child content. I think that's it. Let's give it a try. Okay, build succeeded. Yep, where's the app? I thought we started you. It's not doing anything. What? Uh-huh. And it won't let me build. And it won't let me cancel either. Okay. Thanks so much. Time to kill Visual Studio. That was pretty messed up. But, I mean, I am working on a preview version, so these things happen. Take a look. Okay. Try it again. Like, if it hits it again, I'm going to open an issue here. Okay, there it is, doing the configuration. Nope. Did I take it out of routes? I did. Hey, look at that. Now it knows what it is. I should probably include that one. Yeah, rebuild and apply changes. Go ahead. Build started. Here we go. I'm going to take the breakpoint off of that, and let's see what we get. Where? I'm in startup config middleware. My piece that I wrote in here. So it's not, I don't see it pointing to let's go back to, and let's see if there's something we missed. Right, so if you aren't authorized, right, not authorized content. Well, it, render content in default layout. That's not what we wanted. So where is render content in default layout? Right there. So do I just... Can I just... like... That was a render fragment. Let's call this configured. So then if I go back to routes, yeah, see that? It knows what that is. And there I'll go first start configuration. No writer has cached the property configured. Right, you need to restart there, friend. We need to restart. Nope, unhandled exception. Route view requires a non-null value for the parameter route data. And we are like route view. Where's route data? Authorize render. Render authorized route view core. And it passes along route data. Render authorized route view core delegate. And it passes into builder. And where is route data collected? Right, like is that part of the base here? It does have the navigation manager access to it. There it is, route data. So it's adding. Okay. Are we allowed to have a zero with? Nope. How's that now? See if we get it. No. I am so deep in the bowels of building this thing. I think I've gone too far. I think I've gone too far. This isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Too far bad. I've gone down into the guts of how Blazor works to try and configure something. Probably don't need to be there. So let's pull that out of routes. Yeah, see, it rebuild and apply those changes. So what if I go into the layout? See, there's first start routing. Ooh, wait a sec. First start route view. No. Right, if I wanted to do that. That's not running. So I could put a code block down here. Go back to this. I need the navigation manager so I can check what URI you're on. So I can say if I need to turn this around. If you're not configured and first start configuration. Really? What's the error? I forgot a paren. So if we go back over here, let's let .NET Watch run it. There we go. Okay. So now for my connection string, if I copy that in, let's see if that part works. Right, there's. So that didn't go anywhere. And this is why we were trying to debug in the first place. JSON object contains a trailing comma. Change the reader options. Really? Down in there. Yeah. JSON document options. So, what options do we have here? Yes, allow trailing commas. What else? Sure, skip the comments. Let that go. That's fine too. Hot reload succeeded? Yeah, prove it. Boom. Hit it again. Object reference not set to an instance of an object while trying to get the connection. All right, so now my connection string. Yeah, we're back to where we were. So I'm going to go back into here. Yeah. I want a break right there. So I can inspect and see what's going on with this thing trying to save values, because it sure looks like it saved values to me. All right. No. Didn't bind the values. Why? Why? Ugh. Come on.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think would fly. Think.
I'm trying. Back over here. Because I did it on the wrong... You son of a gun. This should be... No. No. Content provider. Content connection string. Ah, wrong values. I should probably wrap it up after this. Save. Okay, so we didn't get a provider, but we did get a connection string. Why? No. Get rid of that. And do that. Now it should have a value when we submit. No, it didn't even put that in the box. Because I'm on the wrong entry again. There it is. Postgres. Provider. Postgres. What did you do? Application is shutting down. Sure looks... There it is. It did route. Ah. All right. I'm going to finish wiring up these last couple of entries here. If that is... I think that's supposed to be value. Yeah, value. We should probably put that same select gimmick. Right? Bind config. And I'll clean up those other ones. Hey, Speedy. Let's see. Back to app settings. Yep, that one. Yeah, it's already reconfigured. I need to restart. How's it going, Speedy? Good to see you. There we go. And it does properly load. Okay. So Postgres, that, save. It's not giving me a spinner. There it is. And kicked over. I feel like when the save hits, I should put up some sort of a spinner, but I'm not as worried about that right now. I got that part fixed, working, and it is saving my configuration that I requested. Now, next piece is I've got to wire it up to actually fetch and interact with that data. But I'm going to save that for tomorrow. Let's go through here and check in my source code so we can get that up to date. Right, because we added a bunch of stuff in here, and we should get rid of that first config route view. That isn't a thing. We're not doing that. Why can't I delete? Because it's still running, that's why. Alright, back over here. Delete. Yes. Cool. And yep, I'm adding everything in this project. Yep, we're gonna commit everything. Updated to re-implement the startup wizard with Blazor. All right, small moves. We're getting it there. We're getting it there. Pull, push. There we go. So there's some code formatting that's happening there. Fantastic. All right. Let's call it a day. What's that, Speedy? Thought you'd drop by and say hello. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cheese ball meatballs tonight. So good. So good. Looking forward to that. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network. We got a handful of things done here today. We wired up, right, configuration. So the initial configuration bits are back in play and working now in Blazor. This is going to hand us off so that we can start loading data and pushing it back onto the waterfall, and we'll be doing that tomorrow. Taking a look around the horn at who else is streaming. You know what? It is a holiday stream. I'm going to get us Hey, Ragbag. I want to get us connected to a friend. Somebody who it looks like did she just start streaming? She did. She just started a stream. Let's get into a holiday stream, and we're going to connect with a friend, Christy Schuyler. She's just starting up, and I don't see a timer on her screen indicating when she's actually going to be getting things going. Come on. I don't want to be rude and raid while she's still in her prep here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go over. There we go. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, regular time, 9 a.m. Eastern. What is that? 1300 UTC. And we'll be back streaming and having a good time. But get ready to say hi to a friend of mine, Christy Schuyler here, and enjoy some of the holiday fun that she's going to have on her stream. All right. Until I see you tomorrow, have a great rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.